I'm Ryan Callahan with your GoVols247 recruiting roundup. As expected, Tennessee coach Butch Jones and his staff, several of his assistants were on the road last week to evaluate prospects leading up to Saturday's game at Ole Miss. Butch Jones himself got on the road for a rare appearance during a game week to go see Drew Richmond, the top 247 offensive tackle from Memphis, at his game at Memphis University School. Linebackers coach Tommy Thigpen went with him to check on Richmond and Tim Hart, a class of 2016 linebacker who already has an offer from Tennessee. Several of the Vols coaches were out. Also in the Memphis area, Willie Martinez went to see Dante Vaughn, four-star defensive back in the 2016 class, and Zach Azani was at Melrose High School to check on three-star athlete Jonathan Johnson of Memphis. So a handful of guys out there, and then Steve Stripling ventured over into West Tennessee to check on a couple of the Vols' early 2016 defensive line targets, including Tarekius Tisdale, an athlete from Lexington High School, and then Emmett Gooden, top 247 defensive lineman from Brownsville, Tennessee, Haywood High School. So Tennessee getting out to see a number of its early in-state targets in the 2016 class. That's not unusual for them to do, and it was a pretty convenient opportunity for them to do that before the Ole Miss game last weekend. This week, shaping up to be a pretty big recruiting weekend for Tennessee in terms of visitors, at least a couple of official visitors and a number of unofficial visitors for Saturday's game against Alabama. The official visitors will include four-star wide receiver Ryan Newsom of Aledo, Texas. He's been a long-time target of Tennessee's, but has yet to make the trip to Tennessee. Pretty long trip for him, so he's been looking forward to making this one for a while. And he's been hearing from the Vols pretty consistently for the past 8 months or so since getting an offer from Tennessee back in February. So it sounds like Texas is probably the team to beat for now going into this weekend, but several other teams still in the mix, including Tennessee. So this will be a big chance for the Vols to try to put their best foot forward with him and try to become more of a contender with him. Also on an official visit will be four-star offensive tackle William Sweet from Jacksonville, Florida. He's a North Carolina commitment, has been committed to the Tar Heels since April, but still looking around a little bit. Still talking about taking an official visit to LSU later this season sometime. Went to Florida a couple weeks ago on an unofficial visit, so he's still looking around a little bit, and Tennessee has entered the picture a little bit more seriously for him in the past couple of months. In addition to Drew Richmond, who's obviously still a top target for Tennessee. Richmond himself will headline the list of unofficial visitors in town this weekend. He's planning to see Tennessee play for the third consecutive weekend. He was back in Knoxville on an unofficial visit for the Chattanooga game. He was also at Ole Miss last weekend to see the Rebels play host to the Vols. Also, four-star all-purpose back Bryce Love from Wake Forest, North Carolina, planning to be in town on, right now it looks like it could be an unofficial visit that originally was being planned as an official visit. Tennessee trying to get him to take an unofficial visit. Also, a number of 2016 prospects expected to be in, including Emmett Gooden, the defensive lineman we mentioned from West Tennessee. So the Vols expected to have a pretty impressive list of unofficial visitors this weekend. We'll have more on that next week in the GoVols247 recruiting roundup.